Welcome to It's Gold with Julie Snook. My guest in the studio this week is Seven Racing host Emma Freedman. Emma is the daughter of Hall of Fame trainer Lee Freedman. She simply cannot remember a time without horses or racing in her life. This is a typically enthusiastic chat where we talk about learning from the best in broadcast, the magic of capturing those really big race day moments, and lessons learned along the way. Emma Freedman, what a treat. Lovely to have you in studio.
It's great to be here. You're doing a wonderful job.
Aww.
I'm sure you've had other people say, well done, but I have been listening and I've been loving it. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to know, are you the busiest woman at the Seven Network right now? Because between racing, cricket, sports cards, like you're everywhere, woman.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that at some points in the year, particularly over spring and into summer where we're peak racing and we've got, big carnivals in Melbourne and in Sydney, and then cricket seems to start earlier and earlier each and every year. We've got 2 test matches in Mackay and Darwin in August of this year, which seems
That's early.
You're not even close to summer. It's the summer of cricket. And then, do Bathurst each year, do Com Games. So, work with Seven is great. I think Richo and I are the only 2 that kind of cover nearly every sport on the network. Richo does a lot more AFL. I've worked on the Brownlow the last 4 years, which has been great. But I like being busy. It suits my vibe and my personality, so I'm happy with it that way.
Is it something you've had to work at in terms of the other sports? Racing, obviously, we will talk about, and it's part of who you are. But in terms of the other sports, have you always had a passion for them, or have you had to really work at getting to know them and learning them and the people involved?
Not really, because my career started in sports producing in radio, so had to be across every sport at that point in time. So I was 18, 19 at the time. Always had a great passion for AFL football, enjoyed Test cricket. Have got to know the 2020 game a lot more intricately over the last couple of years. The one sport that I do have to brush up on each year are the supercars. Yeah. That's the one I probably have to put more work into. The other ones I naturally consume, which is nice, and my husband's happy about that too.
Does your husband ever get to see you though? Honestly, seriously, between the 2 of you, it's pretty phenomenal. You're here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, we are a great team. So we've got 2 little kids. He has just started his own business less than a year ago, so he's actually working from home, which is good.
That's handy.
So when I'm doing my prep for the weekend or Zoom calls or whatever, we're actually in the house a lot together, which is nice. I'm not sure it's like quality time.
What is quality time when you've got young kids?
Quality time is that knowing look across the kitchen when one of them's just done something so unbelievably stupid. You just go, what are we doing? What have we raised? That's quality time.
Yeah, no, I'm very familiar with that. This media career of yours, when did you decide that sort of media was the path that you wanted to pursue?
I wanted to be in sport first and foremost, and racing was probably the first place to look. So in terms of media, I started, as I said, working in production at 3AW in Melbourne on a show called Sports Today, which ran every weeknight. Progressively moved on to help produce Saturday afternoon football and the show that ran prior to that as well. In terms of racing, at the same time, I was at university and I was also working at Racing Victoria because I was really keen on the administration side of racing and the marketing of it. Also worked in the family business since I was probably 12 or 14. And then in terms of the TV stuff, which is my main bread and butter nowadays, I started working with TVN, which is now no longer in Victoria, just kind of helping out and doing bits and bobs at provincial and country tracks. And that progressed to working with Channel 9 and now with Channel 7, and I've been with 7 now for 5 years. We do 52 weeks a year of racing.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a lot of racing.
It's a lot of racing, but the coverage is exceptional and you've got such a brilliant team. I think perhaps it's just because my experience in the industry, but it's really hard what you do week in, week out. Live television, people underestimate what a moving beast it is, particularly on a race day when not everything can go to plan. You're dealing with people galore, crowds, personalities. You know, there's a lot to it. The team that Seven has assembled is pretty phenomenal.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We are a really strong, tight-knit team. We've got a great production room behind us as well, and we're all mates, which really helps. And it can probably be seen on camera as well. But I think racing as a broadcast entity is the hardest thing that you can do, especially in what we do, because there's some meetings throughout the year where we cover 4 venues.
Yeah.
So we might cover off 37 races on a Saturday afternoon between 12 and 6.
That's insane.
That's 37 different races. Might be Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. At the moment, we're just Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, which is still a lot.
A lot.
The amount of form that has to go into that, and just being, I guess if you're living and breathing the industry anyway, the news and the themes and the common threads about what's happening here, there and everywhere with personalities and horses and key figures, they naturally, you follow them naturally. But it's, the amount of form that we have to do. And I've heard people go, oh, you don't get someone to do it. Are you kidding? Like, you got to do it yourself. You got to do it yourself. You got to learn the way that you want to do it and finesse it over time, learn from the best, and then hopefully you land in a spot where you're picking enough winners week in, week out to keep going.
How does that process work? Where do you even begin when you were looking at that many races on one day? What is your process when it comes to form?
This is how I do it. I do my gear changes first, and then I'll go through, and whether it be track conditions, what their best distance range is, who's on board, gate. Like, there's so many things to formulate, but it probably takes you, it's a couple of minutes per runner if you're looking at it solidly. I'll then finish a race, go back once more over it with a speed map, and then pick out maybe 3 horses who I think will run well. We don't necessarily tip in every race, but I think this horse can run well at a price. And then if I'm doing the post race, well, that's completely different, because you've got to build up the narratives and the stories and understand what winning each individual race might mean for horse connections, trainer and jockey.
Yeah.
If it's a milestone, if it's been a tough time in their lives, if the horse has been out of the winner's circle for a long time. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to do.
Now that I mention it, there's actually quite a lot to do. But that, to me, those interviews, there is a real art to that. Not everyone has it. Has there been someone that you've worked with over the years, or someone you've sort of looked to for inspiration when it comes to allowing the moment to breathe, but getting the most you can out of only a couple of minutes, because these guys don't have long until they've got to move on to the next, to allow those reactions and the moments to really speak?
Yeah, they're 90 seconds, those interviews. I watch a lot of sport, so watching a lot of racing and watching a lot of sport, I think you figure out what you think works, what doesn't work. Sometimes all you need to say might be like 3 words, like, you've done it. And being able to look the participant in the eye and connect with them is so important to be able to build that trust. And for me, I hope that it feels like when I'm talking to those jocks and those trainers that they feel like they're the only person in my orbit at that moment, and I'm the only person in their universe as well, because you're sharing it's a pretty intimate moment sometimes, and building those relationships as well over time. Like, I think when people step into a sport and they might not know the participants well, that can fall flat, but like, we've all worked really hard on building up great friendships and working relationships with these people, that you understand what makes them tick, what they need to be able to give you what is a great broadcast moment, but also to celebrate the moment and their career and what they've been able to achieve. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about me getting the best out of them and being able to get their story out in 90 seconds.
90 seconds. Is there someone you particularly enjoy interviewing after a race win?
There are. I know you've had him as a guest, but Tommy Berry's obviously, he's a great friend of mine. We've been great friends for a long time, and Tom wears his heart on his sleeve, and he understands the power of broadcast as well. I love people who let it all out and let you help them do that. Tom's definitely one of those people. Get the 2000. What a clown. There are so many people who are so incredibly eloquent, maybe to a fault nowadays.
Yes.
Which can be really tough. Young jocks, like the real young ones, when you get to do the first Group 1. I remember chatting to Zach Lloyd after he won the Stradbroke on Steffi Magnetica, and like you could see the elation and the joy like bubbling out of him.
Yeah.
Obviously chat to James McDonald a lot post-race. And we're close mates, so now I know what vibe. I can tell the vibe on the day where we're at in terms of if he's wasted hard or if he's really mind on and game on kind of time as well. I think Tommy is our best participant in terms of broadcast quality for interviews.
He is excellent. He's very good. A little bit cheeky too, which I like.
Yeah, we like that.
We like that. Bjorn Baker, never know what you're going to get. You never know where you're going to land.
Never. Right, mate?
Yeah. Hay fever. It's very bad at this time of year. It means a lot.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, mate. Congratulations. I feared for my life a few times with Bjorn.
Yes.
Bjorn's
he's
fantastic.
a tall gentleman, very enthusiastic.
We joke now that like if we do a post-race interview, and you wouldn't do it on a really major day, but we talk about how he loves the winner's room. And I'll be like, off you go to your favourite place, and then he'll look dead down the barrel of the camera and go, and if you want to join me in there, to bakerracing.com.au, shares available. And it's become a joke now, which is really enjoyable. But his social media is unreal.
You've touched on the family. Of course, your father, Lee Freedman, Hall of Fame trainer. What was it like growing up in that world? What was your first memory of horses, of stables, of life in racing?
It's funny because people go, what a magic, and it's a magical childhood, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And if you grow up in a racing family, like you're lucky enough to not know any better, that having, 20 odd boxes out the back in your backyard with, 20 elite thoroughbreds, like that's not normal. I thought it was. It was a great upbringing, particularly when I was really young. We lived down the road from Flemington with the 20 boxes out the back, and it wasn't just my mum and dad and me at the time in that family. That there was a lot of the uncles and their girlfriends at the time, who are now my aunties, living in one big house. Damien Oliver was apprentice with my dad, so he lived with us as well. So it was like a madhouse, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And alongside the 20 horses out the back, we also had a pony. I'm not quite sure which box the pony lived in, but there was multiple times, and I can still hear my mum saying, Emma, the pony is not a dog. Don't bring the pony inside. Like I'd somehow managed to put a head collar on it and a lead rope and walk with my gumboots on and, a velour skull cap on through the house, holding a whip.
Bringing the pony in.
Emma, the pony is not a dog.
So did you do a bit of riding yourself?
Yeah,
did you?
I did, but I wasn't very good, Julie.
Really?
I wasn't a very good rider, no.
Why?
I have too much fear. Yeah.
Sorry, that's just shock to me.
Yeah.
But in what capacity of...
I don't like going fast.
Again, that's shocking.
My mum was an incredible equestrian. She won gold at every royal show and show jumping around the country. Like she was seriously a marvel at what she did. And obviously my dad, not only, as a trainer, but all the brothers in his family rode as well, like Michael in particular. Michael and Richard were really, really good show jumpers. And they tried, and I did go along and have the lessons and go to the pony club, and my grandparents lived on a farm up in Seymour, and, every opportunity there'd be, come on, we can do this. But I think I just had too many falls and too many times where I just didn't like going fast. And there's an art in also recognizing like that's not my skill. I'm not good at this. So guess what? I'm not going to do it.
Was that discovered at an early age, did you say?
I reckon it was about 10 when I went, can we stop trying this? Because I'm clearly shit at it. Like, my dad and my mum, they just like expected you to be able to ride. Like, it's easy, go. Like, I can't do this. So, yes, I realised from a young age that that wasn't for me, which a lot of people continue to tell me is a great waste on a very small physique.
Your physique, you would think, aligns potentially with some type of horse sport, yes.
No, not for me. No.
But what about the animal themselves? You obviously, love being around them. They're a pretty unique creature.
Oh, I love them, and I love being around them, and I loved helping out and, helping go out and mix up and feed up and help, do whatever needed to be done. Now that my life is majority racing, I live 500 metres from Randwick Racecourse, and I love it. As an animal, they're incredibly kind and intuitive and very bright and obviously very trainable. They're bred to do that. They're an incredible animal, and I love them in that way. But I guess my dislike and fear for riding, which I do want to overcome, by the way.
Did you think that your career would end up being with horses, or did you try to step away and sort of do your own thing and get away from that surname?
Not necessarily. I'm glad in the last 5 years, or 6 years in particular, I found my way back into like more racing broadcast. It was just where I was sitting, in work. Like the network I was working for didn't have any racing. And so there was a few years there where I followed it, obviously, very closely, but I wasn't heavily involved. But yeah, the last, it's probably longer now, a few more years than that, like really heavily involved in so many different assets, whether it be on Seven, working with Inglis, working with my racehorse on their bloodstock team, with Tab, all those things that I love doing. My life is majority racing. Yeah. No, I never wanted to move away from it, but you understand the game. Like if the network you're working for doesn't have the sport you love, you're like, oh well,
hands are tied.
I can't really do much about it at the moment. And also the fact that racing only 6-7 years ago was only on free-to-air television. Maybe 20 times a year. Now we're 52 weeks. Like that's a recent development.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's other networks that do every single meeting, which I'm an avid consumer of. But it's probably not my style or personality. So I'm a bit wild. And some of the chats we have on Seven, I know, they go a bit awry. That's okay. It's fun. It's good to laugh, Julie.
It is good to laugh. Let's talk about your involvement with Inglis and My Racehorse and what that brings to racing, micro-syndication, the chance for the average punter, everyday Joe, whatever you want to say, to get involved in what has always sort of traditionally been for the elite. It's a real game changer and people are loving it.
Yeah, 85,000 customers on our books.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know.
Wow.
Blows your mind. We just bought 15 yearlings across all the sales over the last couple of months. And we buy high quality bloodstock. We have a good team behind us that, looks to buy the best of the best at an affordable price point. But it's not about necessarily winning massive prize money. It's about the enjoyment, the excitement, the thrill, being embedded in the sport, learning about the sport, going behind the scenes, all those things that are priceless, invaluable in a way. I think the crop of yearlings that we bought a few years ago, so the 3-year-olds now, we're striking at 50% group winners to runners, which is the most unheard statistic in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I recently went to the UK for a piece of work and chatted to a few people over there about that stat. And they were like, you're lying. I'm like, I'm not.
Wow.
So we buy good horses and send them to great trainers.
Have you really enjoyed that part of the process as well?
Yeah, I do. And I'm doing it more and more. I really enjoy it. And, our bloodstock team is made up of myself, but headed by Damon Gabbardy, who's been a long-time family friend of mine. So it's lovely to be able to work with Damon now. He's got the real eye for a yearling and I can look at a yearling and see what I like and what I don't like, but my skills lie in other areas of the bloodstock team, I guess, but I'm loving that part of it and the business development part of it as well. So, yeah, behind the scenes of TV stuff, there's other things happening that I really enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this won't last forever.
There are ways to ensure it does. But you seem to be really not only thriving, but genuinely enjoying what you're doing. And I say that because the media is a bumpy old ride, and there are so many chapters to it. We're only in our 30s, yet it feels a long time.
What have we endured?
Too.
Both of us have endured some. Yeah.
But it just seems like you've found your place and you're thriving, and
thank you.
You're enjoying it.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. That's a really kind observation, because you're right. In a really good space of life and work, and home's good, work's good. There's lots of things happening. I'm constantly motivated. I've definitely got a pep in my step at the moment, and enjoying contributing to all the different things I do, but also I guess the development of racing as a broadcast product. Like, I enjoy that. Like, our figures of who's watching at the moment are like, they're through the roof.
Yeah.
Great increase in young people watching the Seven broadcast, and women. Mm-hmm. So you're going, okay, we're doing something right, because that eventually converts likely to having a bet, to owning a horse, to going to meetings. We're like a gateway drug to the real thing.
What a way of looking at it. We are, of course, on the cusp of spring 2026, and here in Sydney, some phenomenal races, some phenomenal horses, jockeys, the works will be descending upon the harbour city. The growth of racing here in New South Wales in particular, what have you made of it in recent years? You are down there in amongst that crowd from 52 weeks of the year. So you see the highs and the lows, and those crowds come in. But what's it like from your perspective, the change?
It's been extraordinary. I mean, referencing Everest Day in particular, like, there's nothing like it on the planet. It's wild, but it's great.
Yeah.
We have to embrace the madness of that day and what it is. It's madness. But, like, there's nothing else like it. Like, let's own the craziness of it. I think the sport's in a great place at the moment. We should celebrate that and have fun with that and publicise that.
What are some of the races, some of the names, whether that's jockeys, trainers, horses, whatever it might be, that you're looking forward to seeing this spring?
Ooh, goodness gracious. Obviously, we're going to be excited to see Kaying Rising.
The fact that we've got this international attention on the race now too really adds a whole other dimension.
Yeah, it's really special that we have, in some people's measures, the world's best horse coming out for another Everest, God willing. I don't think anything can challenge him. There's conjecture as to whether Autumn Glow will run in a Everest or head to a King Charles on the same day. She's at Alibi. She'll be in a mile race, I imagine, as well. The thriving nature of Sir Delius.
Yes.
I'm so excited to see what he can do during the spring. We could have some big international stars coming out, like Calandagan. That would be really exciting to see. He's actually rated on weights and measures in some books as the world's best horse as well. The next episode, this 2-year-old colt that Kieran Maher has, he's going to be really exciting. Some of these late 2-year-old colts and fillies, St. Gothard. But I think that King Charles Chalwolf will be back.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many. But it's the Everest that we're excited for, and hopefully early doors of the spring, there are contenders that put their hands up, and the wheeling and dealing can begin.
I just find it phenomenal. I say it every year. I don't know why I continue to say it, but we talk about it all year round.
Oh, you do have to.
The day after it's run and won, it's, okay, we look ahead to the next year. Yeah. And it's just pretty unique in that sense. And did it surprise you, the success of the race?
To begin with, I probably was a little bit critical of the concept and maybe the marketing of it, because it did, I think, from the get-go seem a little elitist. Like, you had to buy the slot and you go, well, how does every man and every woman get into this? But that's been completely dispelled over the course of a decade, and particularly the last 5 years. I am the race's biggest advocate. I love it. Flashing back to when it was launched and how I initially felt about it, young and naive, and now haven't been on the ground working the last 5 or 6, and the growth of it in particular. And I think the addition of the King Charles on that day is really helps.
Yeah. What's your favourite part of that day?
Sweet Caroline.
So good.
I know that sounds really naff, but you're meant to have fun. These people are having fun. Let them have fun. That young crowd are having a day that they will remember for years and years to come.
Are you seeing a shift in, not just from the stats at 7, but also from the ownership side of it as well, and the crowds, a shift in attendees and participants, their age, their demographic?
I think there is groundswell for a younger attendee, and I guess we're seeing that with stats, but I see it on the ground as well. Like when I was 18, and I grew up in, on the coast on the Mornington Peninsula, but also then when I finished school was living in Melbourne. That was like one of the great things to do, was like to go to the races with your mates. Like not just because my family's in racing, because we all loved it. And I'm feeling that again.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool thing to go and enjoy it again.
Has there been a racehorse in your lifetime that's really stuck with you, whether that's family trained, whether that's just something special you witnessed? Has there been a moment that's really stuck with you?
Oh, there's so many. From a family perspective, Sub-Zero is my favourite horse of all time. Like Subby and I, like kindred spirits. Incredible horse. Obviously, Makybe Diva from a family perspective, because like it was just bedlam and what she achieved and what the boys achieved, and Bossy and David Hall and Tony Santic will never be done again. I think one of the moments of like my broadcast life over the last little while was prior to Jenny and that Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That day and that call from Darren, this is a demolition job. I could go on.
There's a long list. There's a long list. What is your advice to those young ones coming up through the ranks in the media world, or if they come and talk to you at a race day and say, I'd love to do what you do one day when I get older? What do you say to the new generation of journo or sports presenter?
Yeah. Work hard. Be nice.
Be nice.
Have fun. And do the work. You got to do the work. There is a lot of work in behind the scenes, and you can't rely on anyone to do that for you. Build real relationships with people, like real friendships with people in the sport. So not that you're wanting to tell people secrets or their stories, but you need to understand these people to be able to figure out what makes them tick, what makes them special. It's not about you, it's about the participant.
At the end of the day, broadcasting, whatever sport it might be, what do you hope those sitting at home take away from your interviews, from watching you and those moments?
We care. Like we care about this sport so much, any sport we're covering so much that it like hurts, which sounds sick, but like we care about those people that we're chatting to, and we really do want to understand them and their story and what place they come from and what it means to them. Like I hope people watch what we do and go, those guys don't just do it because they have to. They do it because they want to. I'm happy that racing's in a really solid, good place at the moment.
Thanks for joining me on the therapy couch.
Can we have a drink now?